stopped at any of the rest stops in Virginia, then you probably have seen this flag. It's a red and white fielded flag with blue and gold stars and trail flames, and I'm going to explain a little bit about that. But 10 years ago, the organization was founded to bring national public remembrance to the nation. Really to enable every one of our citizens in this country to send a message of thanks in memory of those that gave their lives for our freedom, but specifically in appreciation to the families who are still with us, those grieving families, who are called Gold Star families. Now, I'm not going to show you the flag right now or explain its symbolism to you because I don't want to take a lot of time this evening. But the organization founded to bring national public remembrance began an event that we hoped would impact our nation. And that was to compile the names of every fallen service member who gave their life in the last 18 years. From the bombing of the USS Cole on October 12, 2000. To present day, and actually beyond, because we're still adding names, to compile the names of every single service member who died while serving or as a result of serving, even including those hidden wounds and post-traumatic stress. So we compiled a list of over 20,000 service members, and we organized them by their unique dates of death. And sometimes there was one, and sometimes there were over 50 that gave their lives on one particular day. And then we took those unique dates of death, what happened to be between 5,000 and 6,000 dates of death, and we laid them out on a tribute trail across America through 19 states, covering 5 months and nearly 6,000 miles. And then we began in Fort Irwin, California on April the 7th. We began calling out those names 1 mile at a time. And every mile we would stop and reverently and respectfully carry out a ceremony and read the names of each one of those fallen, plant flags in the ground for each name we called, render a hand salute in honor of those names, and move on to the next mile. And mile after mile, 8 to 10 minutes, every 8 to 10 minutes, 6 to 7 miles an hour, 10 hours a day, for 117 days. We have called out loud up until this moment in Virginia Beach over 19,000 names. 19,000 names have been called out in the last 117 days, chronologically by date of death. So we started with the USS Cole, October 12, 2000. And across America, we've been naming in chronological order, where today we are reading in the year 2017. This is what we've covered until actually today. We ended on Shore Drive around 4 o'clock today. We ran 40 miles from the border of North Carolina to Fort Stewart today alone. And we still have 5 more days to Arlington Cemetery, 4 more days of running actually, until we end on Sunday, August the 5th, for a final concluding ceremony in Section 60 in Arlington Cemetery, where we'll have read over 20,000 names, and we'll have read the very last name of the last service member who gave their life up to that moment. So we're calling this the most comprehensive fallen veteran tribute ever compiled in the history of our country. Why? Because it's important to remember that each one of these men and women that gave their lives, gave it for the freedoms that we all enjoy. And the very least that we should do is know their names and be able to say thank you and appreciate that in some small way. But it wasn't just this trip across America with a handful of people. It was about letting the families know of these men and women that we appreciated their sacrifice. And what we did with those 20,000 names is we put them into a searchable database. And then we broadcast that out far and wide so that a family could go to our website, find their hero's name, and know exactly where in the country we were going to honor them, in what state, on what day, and even at what time, and on what road. Just in the happenstance that a family may want to come out and find us somewhere in America, and it was their turn for us to call their loved one's name out loud. Do we have a flag? Someone?
Did not bring it.
We don't have it.
Oh, Reagan. I can get it.
Okay.
Good.
I'm going to bring a show and tell here in a second. We also had a live feed going. So not only were we doing this as a core team, but we were broadcasting this live continuously across the nation. So anyone in the world could literally watch and hear us call out the names of each one of these loved ones for hours a day, every day. Now, I don't know if you know even about us and what we're doing, but I will tell you the name of the website is runforthefallen.org. And tomorrow, when we leave Fort Story at 7 a.m. and run past Gloucester, we have 68 miles to run tomorrow, that I hope that you might tune in to that YouTube channel and watch us honor for the next 4 days each Arlington Cemetery. But I wanted to make a punctuation on what I just said about the families. What I have here is an honor and remember flag that you can see is kind of grayed out. It's grayed out from the names of service members who have given their lives, signed by the families who have taken the time to run, not to run, but to travel the thousands of miles it took to find us on the road and meet us wherever we may be. We had families travel from North Carolina to California, from Virginia to Arizona, from Pennsylvania to New Mexico, traveling thousands of miles on their own expense, driving tens of hours, just to be on the side of the road for us to come by and call their loved one's name out for 30 seconds. 30 seconds, a blip of time, somewhere across America. It was that important for those families to make that time to come out and find us. Families that don't really need to be reminded that their loved ones are lost. Families that already carry that loss and that grief with them every single day. But yet, knowing that someone else besides their own family was going to remember their loved one and call their names out loud was enough incentive for them to make that journey and to find us somewhere on the side of the road. How much important is it for us to have not had to give our loved ones for our freedom, to show and recognize and appreciate those families who are still with us and will be grieving for the rest of their lives. This is one of the most important statements that we can make in America. Our national treasure. These men and women who have given all. So we have taken the time to make sure that every one of their names is called out loud. And so here we are, 117 days later, with only a few more to go. This is a once-in-a-lifetime journey. The organization that it took and the resources that it took was over 2 years in planning, and we're nearing the finality of our journey. August the 5th at 2 o'clock, Arlington Cemetery, everyone is invited. It's not that far away. One of the things we do every night, regardless of where we end and who we may be with, is we reread the names of all those that we ran for. And I mentioned to you that we run a mile, we stop, we read out the names of those that died on a particular day, chronologically. And we run another mile and read those names. We run another mile and read those names. And today we ran 40 miles for 133 service members who gave their lives. And those really aren't miles, are they? They are dates of death. So 133 service members gave their lives over 40 dates of death in the year 2017. And so tonight we're going to reread those names for several reasons. One is that the road is very noisy. There was a lot of stuff happening out on the road today. A lot of road traffic, a lot of noise. We didn't get any rain, thank goodness. We have. There's a lot of things that keep the names from being heard, even though we have this live feed going with a microphone. But the second reason we read these names is because we want those who are with us to stand in for those families who are not. Because you guys didn't get to hear those names. Maybe you don't want to hear them. And I'm sorry if you don't, because by default you're kind of here. So you get a chance to stand in for those families. And I don't know if you've lost anyone here in the room, or you just came in for a nice quiet drink and a plate of nachos. I don't know. But together with you in this moment, we're going to honor these 133 men and women one more time. We're going to do it together. It's going to take a few minutes. All that I ask, you don't have to move, is that you just silence your cell phones so that we're not interrupted by the reverence of reading these names. I'm going to ask my team to come forward. We're going to read.
The dates that we ran for today were July 16th through August 28th of 2017. Private Randy Tyler Aguirre, United States Army. Staff Sergeant Jose Alberto Roja Gomez, United States Army. Airman First Class Antonio Maurice Sullivan, United States Air Force. Corporal Skylar Dean James, United States Marine Corps. Sergeant First Class Patricia Ann Patterson, United States Army. Senior Chief Petty Officer Alonzo Evans, United States Navy. Petty Officer Third Class India Nicole Nelson, United States Navy. Petty Officer Second Class Jules David Sobog, United States Navy. Seaman Daniel Oscar Gordillo, United States Navy. Private First Class Joshua Adam Epston, United States Army. Sergeant Joshua Grant Cole, United States Marine Corps. Lance Corporal Donovan Christian Rodriguez, United States Marine Corps. Chief Petty Officer Franz de Vilmar, United States Navy. Private First Class Carlos Luis Cardona Giron, United States Army. Command Sergeant Major Jeffrey Scott Volkel, United States Army. Private First Class Curtis Emmanuel Saunders, United States Army. Specialist Donald O'Brent Matthews, United States Army. Specialist Keith Michael Husser, United States Army. Corporal Joshua Lane Kachura, United States Marine Corps Reserve. Sergeant First Class Christopher James Michael Howes, United States Army. Master Sergeant Chad Anthony Imes, United States Air Force. Senior Chief Petty Officer Mandy Ponte Francisco, United States Navy. Master Sergeant Kirk Larmond Kunzelman, United States Army. Specialist Eric Joel Rodriguez, United States Army. Lance Corporal Cody James Pledzik, United States Marine Corps. Petty Officer First Class David Allen Moberg, United States Navy. Sergeant Major Jerome T. Watson, United States Army. Specialist D'Angelo Marquise Mathis, United States Army.
Corporal Samuel Forrest Peterson, United States Marine Corps. Staff Sergeant Philip Eugene Lehman, United States Army. Corporal Nicholas Russell Miller, United States Marine Corps. Staff Sergeant Nathan Daniel Stoll, United States Army. Chief Warrant Officer Brian Robert White, United States Army. Sergeant Troy James Harris, United States Marine Corps. Lance Corporal Lennon Priego. Staff Sergeant Alfred David Brazel, United States Army. Staff Sergeant Alejandro Jonathan Franquise, United States Army. Senior Airman Tyler Eugene Griswold, United States Air Force. Lieutenant Stephen David Hopkins, United States Navy. Petty Officer First Class Elizabeth Claire Kingsland, United States Navy. Sergeant Jonathan Mike, United States Army. Specialist Christopher Michael Harris, United States Army. Technical Sergeant David Board, United States Air Force. Specialist Zachary Charles Moore, United States Army. Captain Madison Bernard Matakis, United States Army. Sergeant First Class Jonathan Rooks Clement, United States Army. Master Sergeant Jeffrey Allen Mitchell, United States Air Force. Lance Corporal Cody J. Haley, United States Marine Corps Reserves. Lieutenant Commander Andrew Todd Gray. Airman First Class Patricia Espiritu Roy, United States Air Force. Corporal Ruben Vega Jr., United States Marine Corps. Corporal Zachary James Smith, United States Marine Corps Reserves. Staff Sergeant James Gregory Perez, United States Army. Captain Benjamin Robert Cross, United States Marine Corps. Corporal Zachary James DeSantis, United States Marine Corps. Corporal Nathaniel Franklin Ordway, United States Marine Corps. Lance Corporal Ruben Paul Velasco, United States Marine Corps. Petty Officer Second Class Tyler Matthew Alduenda, United States Navy. Specialist Anthony James Williams Jr., United States Army. Specialist Nicholas Joseph Setliff, United States Army. Sergeant First Class Albert Hanul Chung, United States Army.
Specialist Zachary Joel Ammons, United States Army. Lance Corporal Luis Eduardo Perez, United States Marine Corps. Senior Chief Petty Officer Leslie A. Bruner, United States Navy. Specialist Anthony John Berneville, United States Navy. Specialist Anthony John Berneville, United States Army. Staff Sergeant Matthew Emmett Walmesley, United States Air Force. Seaman Stefanik William Kuski, United States Navy. Petty Officer Third Class Gregory Scott Warner, United States Navy. Specialist Peter James Robbins, United States Army. Airman First Class Ryan William Freiberg, United States Air Force. Corporal Michael Scott Esley, United States Marine Corps. Petty Officer Second Class Tanner McKenzie Brack, United States Navy. Specialist Veronica Antonia Vega, United States Army. Staff Sergeant Jeremy Stone Coyle, United States Air Force. Staff Sergeant Alex Berlin Bentley Freeman, United States Army. Sergeant First Class Caleb Andrew Service, United States Army. Sergeant Wagnall Michael, United States Army. Sergeant Rashane E. Brooks, United States Army. Specialist Alan L. Stigler, Jr., United States Army National Guard. Staff Sergeant Hagen Azinen, United States Army. Specialist Ryan Michael Buss, United States Army. First Lieutenant William Thomas Bryant III, United States Army. Lieutenant William Ronald Helms, United States Navy. Warrant Officer 3, Brian M. Woper, United States Army. Staff Sergeant Abigail R. Alam, United States Army. First Lieutenant Catherine M. Bailey, United States Army. Sergeant Michael L. Nelson, United States Army. Warrant Officer 2, Stephen T. Cantrell, United States Army. Private Shane Michael Wolf, United States Army. Staff Sergeant Aaron R. Butler, United States Army. Specialist Richard Brennan Bradelli Cox, United States Army. Commander Frank Alfonso Bivens, United States Navy. Tech Sergeant Jason Burt Friday, United States Air Force. Petty Officer First Class Michael Wade Pimpton, United States Navy. Petty Officer First Class Roger Linwood Henderson, United States Navy.
Chief Petty Officer Gregory Marker, United States Navy. Specialist Byron Patrick Larman Veltman, United States Army. Private John Anthony Martinez II, United States Army. Private First Class Andrew Boone Young, United States Army. Major Padilla Mario Cooper, United States Air Force. Sergeant Joshua Ray Holden, United States Marine Corps. Sergeant Robert J. Idem, United States Marine Corps. Corporal Stuart Andrew West, United States Marine Corps. Petty Officer Third Class Joshua Anthony Ornelas, United States Navy. Petty Officer Second Class Dustin Luis Doyen, United States Navy. Petty Officer Third Class Logan Stephen Palmer, United States Navy. Petty Officer Second Class Kevin Sayer Bushnell, as you were, Bush-L, United States Navy. Petty Officer Second Class Timothy Thomas Eccles Jr., United States Navy. Petty Officer First Class Charles Nathan Finley, United States Navy. Petty Officer Third Class Kenneth Aaron Smith, United States Navy. Petty Officer Second Class Corey George Ingram, United States Navy. Petty Officer Second Class Jacob Daniel Drake, United States Navy. Petty Officer First Class Abraham Lopez, United States Navy. Petty Officer Third Class John Henry Hoagland III, United States Navy. Specialist Miles Allen Miller, United States Army. Chief Warrant Officer 2 Lamont Otis Williams, United States Army. Sergeant Michael Joseph Martinez, United States Army. Specialist Matthew Raymond Turcotte, United States Army. Staff Sergeant Joseph William Connors, United States Air Force. Sergeant James Donald Blurch, United States Army. Tech Sergeant Gary Peter Thomas Jr., United States Air Force. Sergeant Jeffrey Lars Von Boss, United States Army. Chief Warrant Officer 5 James Doyle Roberts, United States Army. Staff Sergeant Emil Rivera Lopez, United States Army. Airman First Class Nicole Francine Tuttle, United States Air Force. Sergeant First Class Jason Christopher Wojcik, United States Army. Second Lieutenant Nicholas Warren Taylor, United States Air Force. Sergeant Jesse Vasquez Contreras, United States Marine Corps. Private First Class Jordan Allen Maddox White, United States Army. Lieutenant Colonel Deborah K. McCall, United States Air Force. Senior Chief Petty Officer Edward Leonard Jones, United States Navy. Lieutenant Claire Mitchell, United States Navy.
133 heroes. Over 40 unique dates. You can do the math on that one. How many of you here served in the military or are military connected? Raise your hand. Few of you. Thank you. Before I dismiss the group here and close this portion, I would like to give an opportunity for anyone in this restaurant who knows of a name, whether it be their own loved one, a neighbor, a battle buddy, makes no difference what generation. If you would like to honor and name an individual out loud, as we have honored those that we ran for today, I'll give you that opportunity. No obligation, but I will tell you that it is very difficult to take a name from here and speak it out loud. So I'm just going to go around, as I said. It's up to you if you want to. I'll start over here. Anybody over here want the name of a loved one who served in the military and gave their life? Just raise your hand, I'll call on you. Anybody over here? Yes, sir.
Clifford Wheelhouse, United States Army, Vietnam.
Thank you. Yes, ma'am.
Kenneth Dwayne Miley, United States Navy.
Thank you. Yes, ma'am.
J.L. Cornell, U.S. Marines, and Travis J. Zielinski, U.S. Army.
Thank you. Yes, ma'am.
Justin Robert Martoni, U.S. Marine Corps.
Yes, ma'am.
Lieutenant Commander Thomas C. McGowan, United States Navy.
Anyone else? Yes, sir.
First Lieutenant Travis Manning, United States Marine Corps.
Thank you.
Airman First Class Matthew Lee Ward, United States Air Force.
Thank you. Anyone else? We could just bow our heads just for a moment of silence for these names that we ran for. Those that were mentioned and those several thousand we are yet to read on our way to Arlington Cemetery. Amen. Thank you.